Hey everybody, I'm so excited to be back and filming a video. I felt very down and discouraged not posting a video last week, but I knew that once I sat down and I filmed a video for this week and I got that out, that I would be back on my mojo, and that's what I'm praying is gonna happen. I already feel it. But in lieu of what we're gonna be talking about, I had to remind myself that when I started this channel, one of my main priorities was being real with you guys and letting you guys into the depth of my thinking, the depth of how I'm feeling, what I'm doing, why, just real. I just wanted to be real with you guys. I never wanted to sugarcoat anything. And I wanted to be transparent and open with you guys about my own struggles. If I'm going to be talking about things that people struggle with and talking to you guys about it, I have to be honest and transparent about what I go through and what I've been facing. Part of the reason why I did not post a video last week is because when I sat down to film my video last week, I just could tell I wasn't in the same spirits. I was not as uppity and excited about life and about filming. And I just felt like I wasn't giving you guys quality. But now that I look back at it, I realize that I'm not always going to be up and excited and crazy because, first of all, I'm the type of person that I can't be fake. I just can't. I don't have the skill to be fake. I don't have a poker face. I'm very easy to read. I just find it very difficult to be fake. I don't like being fake. It goes against my nature. I'm a very honest and transparent person just in my day-to-day life and in my day-to-day relationships. So that's why when I filmed that video last week, it just wasn't my best because I wasn't feeling my best. And that's just the way life is sometimes. You don't always feel your best. And so I wanted to make this video to be real, raw, and transparent with you guys and share with you my story and how these past couple of weeks I've been struggling with my anxiety. And it's put me in a place that kind of paralyzed me. And that's why I didn't post that video. But I don't want that for my channel. I don't want to just post a video when I'm, in high spirits and I can fake the funk. I want to post a video showing you guys who I really am and how I really feel. Obviously, I will always 100% deliver quality. That is a non-negotiable. I will never sit here and give you guys something that is just I just didn't give my all in, because that's just not the way I operate. But if I'm not as uppity and excited and, feeling my best, that doesn't mean I can't give you guys quality. It's just going to show in my work that I'm not in the best of places. So this video today is going to be all about my story with mental illness and how I've struggled with anxiety pretty much most of my life, if not all of it. I don't remember a time where I wasn't anxious, and also how it's developed. So I'm just going to start from the very beginning. Since I can remember, I remember being 3 or 4 years old and I was in a pre-K program, so probably 4 years old. And every single time when it was nap time, all of my friends and all of my peers just went to sleep and had a blissful nap experience. Not me. Every single time it was nap time, my teachers had such a hard time with me because I would cry every single time I had to go to nap, every single time I had to go to sleep, because I had this constant fear. Every single day, this constant fear that something bad would happen to my mom and my little brother, who is 16 now, but at the time he was an infant. And I was just terrified that they would get into a car accident, something would happen, and they would die. And so that did not allow me to sleep like the rest of my peers. I literally had sleep issues because of my anxiety since I was 4 or 5 years old. And that progressed. It always kind of revolved around sleep. When I was younger, I was always very afraid to fall asleep, is what I would say. I would tell my mom, I'm so scared to go to sleep. I would make her cuddle with me to fall asleep, or I would just stay up for hours just crying because I was afraid of going to sleep. I was afraid of the nightmares. It was just that time of the day where I would unwind. And I would start, even at the age of 4, 5, 6 years old, I would start to think about the things that worried me. And that's not normal in a 5-year-old, to experience that sort of debilitating fear and worry that did not allow me to go to sleep at night. And that proceeded on for years. And as I got older, that paralyzing fear just kind of developed and was targeted towards new things. I was always kind of afraid of sleep and the dark. That was something that I was always afraid of and still am. But as I got older, I started to very much fear, not being good enough, being rejected, just different things in my life. School, I always felt like I had to be number one in my class, and just so many things. And those things would paralyze me. I would feel so anxious that I wasn't able to fully function. But what I thought was that I was fully functional, and I thought that this was normal and that I was supposed to feel that way in order to succeed. And so I just pushed past it, and I always did whatever I could in order to eliminate or at least suppress the anxiety that I was feeling. It developed into different phobias. I still to this day have this huge phobia of people choking, especially my brothers. So constantly, if I'm home watching my brothers, even my 16-year-old brother, I have this overwhelming fear, like at any moment, like they could choke and just die. I know, so terrible. It just turned into different things, but I had what I thought was a pretty good grip on it, and I was able to live my day-to-day life and it not totally hinder me, and I was still able to function even though there were days where my anxiety was bad, and I would just feel so anxious and have this worry in the pit of my stomach. But I was able to kind of suppress that and put it in the back of my mind and not deal with it. And after years of doing that and experiencing something that I spoke about in my last video, which I'm going to touch on briefly again because this is kind of my main reason for making these videos, there's a stigma around mental illness, especially in the church. And something that happens in the church is what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. So the definition of cognitive dissonance is having contradictory ideas, beliefs, or values. So much so that your actions could display something contradictory to what you think, believe, or value. And so many people who are experiencing mental illness in any level, when you are a Christian and you go to church, you are told that when you have a relationship with Jesus, that kind of eliminates that in a sense. If you have a relationship with Jesus, you should not be feeling anxious. You should not be feeling depressed because Jesus is our peace and our joy, and he totally eradicates that the moment that you're in his presence. And the truth of the matter is, yes, God is peace and God is joy, and he can fill you up with all that peace and all that joy. But at the end of the day, we are flawed. Us as humans, we are flawed. And not only does the sin problem cause people to sin, but the sin problem has caused there to be a flaw in humanity. And now we are no longer perfect heavenly bodies. We do suffer from sicknesses, and some of those sicknesses are not just physical ailments, they're mental ailments. And we don't, for whatever reason, believe that that's something that is allowed or is something that happens inside of the church and inside the body of believers, but it is. And it's honestly insane to me that people don't agree or believe in mental illness when it's clearly written all over the Bible. That so many of these people in the Bible that we worship and we look up to so much, like David, for example, experienced mental illness. David was depressed at different points in his life. He did not even want to live at some point. There was a point where Elijah wanted God to kill him. There was a point where Job was depressed. I mean, come on. King Saul fell on his own sword. I mean, suicide, depression, anxiety, it's not a new thing. This is not a 21st century thing. This is something that's been going on for years, and it's in the Bible. So I just want to let you know that no, it's not wrong to feel these things. I don't want anyone out there to feel as though they are not allowed to express that feeling and process those feelings because, you have to have this cognitive dissonance where in the front of your brain, you are declaring truths over your life, that you are more than a conqueror, that you have peace with Jesus, and you're just declaring all these truths over your life, which I'm a firm believer in the power of the tongue, and that there's life and death in the tongue, and that you should be speaking life over yourself, but that shouldn't be the only thing you're saying. There needs to be a balance between speaking life over yourself and being self-aware and knowing what you are facing and what you need to heal from and what you need to process. And when you go years, like I did, for example, and I didn't allow myself to be self-aware, and I didn't allow myself to express what I was feeling, and I didn't allow myself to process through what I was feeling, it then became even worse than had I processed it in the beginning. Nobody is exempt from trauma. I've gone through my own trauma growing up, and because of that, I'm experiencing mental illness. But for the most part, had I processed that in the beginning, my anxiety would not be as bad as it is right now. So let me backtrack. So yes, my whole life I had like general anxiety disorder. I just was very worrisome, very fearful, very anxious, and there were times where it was worse than other times, and times where I just felt like my friends didn't understand me, and I knew that nobody could help me, and I would try to pray and be in his presence and fast and do all of these things. And yes, there were times in my life where I was on a high with God, but then reality would hit. And no matter how much I prayed, it wouldn't go away. No matter how much I asked people to pray for me, it wouldn't go away. And it was just my reality that I had to deal with, that I had to process, that I had to heal from. And it wasn't up until October of last year that something happened in my life. I'm gonna be real and just tell you guys, my boyfriend Khalil, he tried to break up with me in October, and he didn't break up with me, but he told me that he didn't want to be with me anymore. And hearing those words and just being in that spot, I guess, kind of triggered it was kind of like the domino effect. It was like that one domino, like there were dominoes piled up in my life, but they had never touched each other. And I feel like that domino kind of like fell on all the other ones and just had like this ripple effect. And ever since that day, I started not only dealing with general anxiety, but I started to develop panic disorder, and I started to have panic attacks left and right for no known reason. It was just unpredictable. I just lived in this anticipatory anxiety, not knowing when the next panic attack would happen. And every single panic attack, no matter how many times I told myself that, when you're in a panic attack, just know it's totally mental, nothing's wrong with you. But every single time that I had a panic attack, it was the same thing. I thought I was gonna die. I thought something was seriously wrong with me because my heart was pounding. I couldn't breathe. I was shaking. Just all these physical symptoms were happening, and my brain is going into fight or flight. And so I'm thinking something has to be wrong with me if I'm feeling this way. And I would just always feel like I was gonna die. And every single time I have a panic attack, it's that same fear of imminent death. And it's just been so scary. But I can tell you, I started going to therapy for the first time in my life in January of this year. And I strongly believe in seeking help professionally when you are facing something. And it doesn't have to be this huge, I'm depressed, I'm suicidal, which those things, you need to seek professional help. I'm leaving the hotline down below. If that is something that you or someone you know is dealing with, please, please, please seek help. Don't allow these temporary things to take something so beautiful from you, like your life. But it might not be that you're facing. It might be something as small or as simple as anxiety or depression and sadness, and just like not feeling yourself or lack of motivation. It could be those quote unquote small things that you're feeling. Those things are serious. Those things need to be dealt with, and those things you need to seek professional help for. And even if you don't think you have any mental illness, therapy is for everyone. There is something in your life that you need to process through in order to break the chains in your family line before you have kids, before you get married. There are things you need to process through that you've gone through in order to break those chains, and that needs to happen. But that can only happen with the help of the power of the Holy Spirit and through talk therapy and a professional that can sort through those things with you professionally. And so I've been going to therapy since January, which therapy won't fully work if you are not willing to allow the Holy Spirit to do a work in you, and you're not willing to process the things that you're going through. That's another topic for another day. But I've been going to therapy. I've been, seeking the Lord. But because of this new anxiety that I'm facing, it's kind of put like a wall between me and God, and that is all on me. I can't blame God for any of it. But because of that, this new anxiety and the things that I'm starting to process now, it's very hard for me to pray, because as soon as I start praying, waterworks, and I just feel like that wound is just opening up again. But I know that little by little, as I continue to seek God and his help, and I continue to trust him in this process, and I continue to trust my therapist and, the assignments that she's giving me, I know little by little I will get to a place where I can look back and say, yes, I struggled with anxiety. And yes, there are times that I still feel that anxiety rising up, but I have overcome that panic. I have overcome, feeling stuck and feeling overwhelmed by my anxiety. Yes, I don't know fully that I will never feel anxious. I think that there will be new things in my life that will cause anxiety to rise up in me for the rest of my life. I think that for the most part, people feel anxious at some point or another. And I know that because I've had anxiety before, that is something that I'm still going to feel. But I know that there is going to be a point where I will no longer feel overwhelmed and overcome by this anxiety, but that I will know that I have the power to speak peace over my life and actually, have the tools and resources necessary to overcome that, not just suppress it, but overcome it. And I really just want you guys to know that even though the church and people around you are telling you you're not allowed to feel that way, I want to let you know that now is the time to express the way you're feeling, seek help for what you're feeling, and break those chains in your family line. That needs to happen now. That needs to happen now. And no, we cannot suppress what we feel anymore. We cannot suppress what's happening, the mental distress that we're feeling, because the longer that we suppress that, the bigger and more monstrous it becomes, and the worse it becomes in the long run. And the only reason that the majority of people develop things like schizophrenia and psychosis and, all of these huge things is because those people never were self-aware and they never dealt with what they were feeling. And the only reason that we have parents and grandparents that are putting their kids through hell is because they were never taught that they could be free from the things that they're experiencing. They could be delivered from these mental illnesses and the trauma and the things that they experience and the strongholds that are over their life. A lot of these things are spiritual, but a lot of them are physical and they're mental. And we need to attack things by both ends, not just spiritually, but also physically. But yeah, leave a comment down below, letting me know what else you want me to talk about when it comes to mental illness in this series. I do want to make another video about this. I feel like there's still so much more I want to talk about. But today I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm experiencing and why I wasn't really up for, posting that video last week. I just wasn't in the best place, and I'm still not in the best place. I'm still experiencing a lot of anxiety right now, but I've been going to therapy. I've started a fast, and I know that I can overcome this. And I want to let you know, you that are watching this video, that you as well can overcome the things that you are feeling, and you can feel like you have that power back. And in order to get that power back, you cannot suppress it. Suppressing it gives power to that thing that you're experiencing. But the moment that you expose it, that's the moment that you start to gain power back. And when you expose it and you say, you no longer have a hold on me, there is hope for you. And today's the day to gain that power back from that mental illness, from that trauma, and to experience healing and to break those chains. And that starts with first surrendering that to Jesus, and secondly, seeking professional help. And so I pray that wherever you are, you can find a therapist in your area that you can afford and that can help you. And if you need any help with that, please reach out to me. I'm going to leave my Instagram down below. Please DM me if there are any questions that you have, anything you want to share with me. I am here for you guys honestly, truly, I am here for you. I love you guys. That's why I'm making these videos, because I want the people that hear the words that I have to say to experience healing and to experience a love like they've never experienced before. And I pray that my videos can be a bridge for that. So if you need anything, please DM me. I'm going to leave my Instagram down below. If you or anyone you know are experiencing suicidal thoughts, please reach out to that hotline. This is your sign. This is your sign right now. Don't let something temporary take away the life that you have that is worth so much. I love you guys so much. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Please leave a comment down below what you would like to see. Also, before I go, I said this on my Instagram story, but I have pre-recorded videos of things that are not necessarily sit down talk videos, but like get ready with me's, vlogs, that sort of sense, that I don't know if I should post on this channel. I mean, every single Friday I will be posting a sit down video about, stigmatized topics. That's, kind of like where I found myself in my channel, my niche. But I was wondering if maybe midweek, like on a Tuesday, you guys would like to see something else, get ready with me's, vlogs. I also wanted to kind of like start a book club on this channel and, show you guys my favorites of the month and just all those cool, like little knick-knacky things. I'm just not sure if I should do that on this channel or if I should start a whole new channel, but like, I don't know. I kind of want to be like, I don't want this to just be like this professional setting, which I do want it to be a professional setting, but I want to be real. I want to show you guys my life. So just let me know, guys, down below in the comments what you guys think I should do. But yeah, I can't wait to see you guys next week. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening and watching. Please subscribe down below if you have not already. Subscribe. I don't know how many subscribers I'm at right now, honestly, but get us to 200. I mean, let's get there. Share this video with someone you know that needs it. I love you guys so much. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Bye, guys.